He didn't have many touches, he didn't have many involvements. Then when he takes the goal, all of a sudden, chest out, shoulders big, and he grew into the game and he looked a threat. Same can be said for Zirkzee. I thought it was his best Man United performance. He kept getting in them little pockets, brought people into play. A couple of lovely little, as well as his goals, he linked the play and slipped a couple of people through, Ahmad as well. So there were some really good performances that'll please the manager.
There were some great pieces of play that we've seen that looked like it was straight off the training ground, some great exercises that have been doing there. It shows that Ruben Amorim, he said that he was prioritising that time on that training pitch, and you can clearly see that today with some of the movement that we've seen.
Yeah, and it's hard for Ruben, obviously coming into the club, any manager going into a football club during the season to try and put their stamp on things, especially when there's so many games. It's hard to do a lot of work on the training ground. It's normally pre-seasons when you get a chance to really stamp your authority on training sessions. So to cram such an amount in a short period of time, hence why we've probably seen them doing tactical work in the warm-up and things like that. He's probably grabbing every opportunity to work with the team, and I'm sure he'd be pleased with the performance today.
I mean, this is a huge opportunity for us to build momentum. That's exactly what Ruben Amorim wanted. He wanted a great start to his Manchester United era that he's starting now. Obviously a win Thursday, a win today, and this is great all leading up to next week. Yeah,
absolutely, and obviously with the games, as I say, keep coming thick and fast, and he's going to get a chance to rotate his team, rotate his squad. There's going to be injuries, there's going to be chances for players coming into the team, but all he can ask for is people to come into the side and grab their opportunity and show what they can do, which is what all the players need to do when a new manager comes in, and the lads who've turned out today can be all happy with their performance. No suspensions and little niggly injuries, so to keep the squad healthy as best you can, to get players back fit. So for example, if Martinez is unavailable, you can bring Luke into the team, gives you that like for like left foot, natural balance to the side. So to have Luke just back available now will be a huge bonus for the manager.
It says a lot as well, the character of the squad that Ruben is trying to build here. I mean, especially when there's a win, we always see, everyone applaud the fans here, but it seemed that they did it together as a collective, and he's trying to bring that mentality about winning together, losing together, and making sure that not only the players feel it, but the coach and staff together feel it as one.
Yeah, I think, listen, for any successful team, you need a togetherness and you need there to be a spirit, and when there is that, you've got half a chance, and I'm sure that's something that him and the staff will want to implement straight away.
We will. We can see some of the players coming out now as well, some of the substitutions that were made here pitch side. I mean, we've currently got Harry Maguire there, Tyrell Malacia. I mean, how great is it to see? You mentioned about how delighted you were to see Harry Maguire back from injury, back into contention. He just fit into that middle role straight away. Yeah, and I think that middle role in a back three suits him. Obviously, he gives you that physical presence. We know what he can do and what he's capable of in both boxes in terms of set pieces, from a defensive and attacking front. So the fact that he's back fit now, I'm hoping that he won't do anything in these runs that they're going to do. It's the worst thing as a player to be doing, running after a game, but it's what you have to do.
Draw, Man United are 1 point behind Tottenham.
Yeah, it's crazy, and Tottenham have played some entertaining football, as I said last week, against Man City. Outstanding. But that's the consistency with Tottenham, and that's why the fans get frustrated there. 1 week outstanding, the next week not so good. I don't think the game on Thursday night helped them against Roma, because they did look like a few tired legs out there, but these are the games, and it's not. And Fulham are a very good football team, so it was never going to be a pushover for them just turning up and think they can beat Fulham. As I said, Marco Silva's done a brilliant job there. The only downside for Fulham was that poor result last week.
But as we said, with the variety that we've got in there, there's plenty of different options you can go with.
Yeah, well, it's not only just the personnel in terms of variety. I think that we've got players in this squad that can play in different positions. Ruben's already spoken very highly about Mason Mount, about he's a player that can play in multiple positions in this pitch and fits this system that he wants. Diogo Dalot is another. He spoke in his pre-match press conference about how Dalot is most effective on the right. He can play on the left. He can play as an inverted winger. He can play that centre-back role if needed. Mazraoui is another one. How important is that, if he's going to introduce this system of 3-4-3, to have these players that can pick up different places in the pitch? They're not just nailed to one position.
Look, it's good potentially at times, But also, as a player, you want a bit of consistency. Yes, you want to be on the pitch, so you're saying, well, I'll play wherever you're asked me to play. I want to be on the pitch, I want to be playing. But if you're playing well in the right wing-back position and then you get chucked over to the left side, you're losing that consistency in kind of developing relationships with other players on that side of the pitch. So it is a fine balance between consistency of who you're playing with, who you're linking up with, but it's also great that you've got the ability to make those adaptations both in-game and pre-game when you're selecting your starting lineup.
Yeah, and what I'm finding really interesting is that wing-back role, the fact that he's given Anthony the opportunity on Thursday night to see how he plays in that position. Ahmad, of course, the game against Ipswich here today. Malacia returned, Diogo can play there. But what I find interesting about him using the attackers is people might not associate Anthony as a defending player. He's clearly good on the ball, very skillful, likes to be higher up the pitch, similar to what we've seen as Ahmad. But Ahmad, especially today, we saw it against Ipswich, one of the brightest performers out on the pitch.
Yeah, well, it varies, doesn't it? If you've got a wing back that's more attacking, you might have to have a defender behind them on that side that's more defensively sturdy. Whereas if you've got someone that maybe doesn't attack quite as much, is more of a sturdy defender, that right side or left side centre back is someone that's going to bomb on. Luke Shaw, for example, we know how good he is when he gets high up, when he delivers balls into the box. So potentially, if you've got a left-sided wing back up there playing alongside him at left centre back, if you've got someone that's going to bomb on so far and then he's getting higher up as well, you might get left a little bit exposed there. I mean, you can cover round, there's ways around it, but it might just work on kind of the balance of who's your outside centre-back and then who are your wing-backs, and that's where relationships come into play.
And that's a really good point in terms of dependent on the opposition you are playing. You might go with two defensive wing-backs rather than